Welcome back. Child, Youth, and School Services has a lot of programs, activities, and events for our military families. CYSS Lead Specialist Sunny Smith is here to talk about CYSS programs offered on Fort Campbell. Welcome back to the show, Sunny.
Thanks, Melissa.
We're always glad to have you because you have so much to tell us about what's going on in child and youth programs across the post. But I know you're here specifically today to talk about one program that you want to make sure our folks know about, and that's our Parttime preschool, or it's like a preschool program?
Right, it's a pre-K program. It's called Strong Beginnings. And it's been on post here for about 4 years. It's about the 4th year for full day care. But just starting this past August, we did start a part-day AM and PM Strong Beginnings kindergarten readiness program. So it is a big deal because it's the first part-time program that we're having for that program.
So the Strong Beginnings has been going on as a full-time program for 4 years.
Correct. The reason, what happened in Army CYS is that the Army CYS was kind of noticing, talking to some kindergarten teachers across the country, that Army CYS kids aren't as prepared possibly for kindergarten as, say, someone who would go to a pre-K program. So what the Army did was to establish their own to support our families so that we could prepare our kids for kindergarten. So there are some changes to the traditional pre-K programs or preschool programs that are in our centers. This one is only for 4-year-olds or only for kids who are going to kindergarten the following fall. And it specifically focuses on kindergarten readiness.
So the Strong Beginnings program is different than perhaps a traditional daycare program for someone who's just not ready for school age yet.
Correct.
It focuses on some kinds of learning programs that are established to show that there's preparedness for kindergarten?
Correct. There's one thing that's common in the preschool programs and the pre-K program, that is the curriculum that we use. Mm-hmm. We use the Teaching Strategies Gold Creative Curriculum. So that's the same. The difference with the pre-K program is it focuses on specific math and literacy content areas, and then science and social studies with specific activities where you may not see them in the preschool traditional rooms in our center, say Center 1 or Center 2 or Eagle CDC. Mm-hmm. The other thing that we wanted to give our parents is parents have this, they want their kids to work on a ditto sheet. There's this correlation between if you're working on a piece of paper, with something on it, that you're almost getting ready for school. And so we've given our parents that. The Army has prescribed certain worksheets that we are supposed to be working with our kids, and we do that. And the parents love that part because it's something that they can take home. It's not homework, but they work on it in school, and it's something that they will be doing when they get into kindergarten classrooms.
So what kinds of things, for example, are taught in Strong Beginnings? What kinds of things will the children learn or be finished learning by the time they're ready to go to kindergarten?
We focus on the academic part, of course, but the main focus is really on the social aspect of what it means to be a kindergartner in school. My all-time favorite thing that we teach the kids to do is we teach them how to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Really?
As a grown-up, you would think, you stand up and say the pledge, but they don't know, right hand over your heart. So we teach them how to recognize your right hand, how to put it over your heart, and to say the entire Pledge of Allegiance. So by the end of the year, during graduation, they'll all stand up in front of their parents and say the whole Pledge of Allegiance and be able to put their little hand over their heart, which on a military installation, that means
huge.
a lot. Right.
And obviously these children aren't reading yet, so it's not like you can put this up on a blackboard and they can read the Pledge of Allegiance. You have to teach it verbally, and they memorize it.
Right. We teach it. Now, we do a lot of early literacy, whereas we may have the whole pledge up and we point to the words so that they start recognizing some sight words. And that is actually some of the things that we do, and we have what's called word walls. So say our study topic is ants, and we have like the word thorax and the words ants. We actually have those words so that the kids can point to the letters and we can say, A-N-T-S. So there's a lot of early literacy, which we have those things in our preschool programs. It's just done a little bit differently, specifically for the children going to kindergarten in the fall.
So there's no reason that someone would be in Strong Beginnings if their next year of school wasn't kindergarten. It's not something that you do for multiple years.
Right. It's 1 year. And it's not you have to go. It's an option. It's another option for care for parents. So if you, just love your preschool teachers that you have currently right now when your child's 3, it's just another option for you. You don't have to put them in Strong Beginnings, but you can. Your child will be ready for kindergarten if they stay in our preschool programs. This program will just prepare them in different ways, specifically with that little worksheet piece and the pledge. Those are two really big differences with our preschool and our pre-K programs.
So it's kind of a booster program for kindergarten readiness.
Correct. And the difference is in a 3 to 5 preschool room, it's children ages 3 to 5. Whereas this, it's all 4-year-olds. So that has its pros and its cons, because if they're all into one thing, you may have a room full of 40 kids all doing the same thing.
Right.
But the parents really like it because at the very end of the school year, they graduate and they do wear a cap and a gown and they do get a little diploma and they parade down the hallway. So the parents really like that part. They bring the grandmas and the aunts and the uncles and they videotape, and it's a really big way to end the school year for the pre-K kids.
Does it feel like kindergarten to the children in terms of getting ready for kindergarten? Is it more like a classroom and less like a daycare?
It is as we get on. We always think that when they go home, what we've seen the last 3 years is when they go home in December and come back in January, a lot of people take leave at that time. It's almost like they turn into kindergartners overnight, because in the beginning they're still very much in a daycare mindset. Even though we work on our little worksheets, we say our pledge, they're still learning how to become more independent. They're still working on that socialization back and forth with each other, working out their own problems. But it's like when they go home and come back in January, we could put them in kindergarten and they would be fine. So the second half of the year, definitely.
Going from focus on play to focus on learning.
Right.
And this is the first year you're offering it in a part-time process.
Correct.
Do they still get the full curriculum going part-time?
They do, because we have so many parents here who are active duty military or Army civilians, and they need full-time care. If they choose to use the full day Strong Beginnings, it's only the first 8:30 to 11:30. So that's what we focus on Strong Beginnings. And then the rest of the day is very similar to what you would see in our normal preschool rooms. But at the Part Day program, it is a full 3 hours of strictly Strong Beginnings.
Either morning or afternoon.
Correct.
And is it a 5-day program?
It is. It's 5 days a week, and it follows the school calendar. So that's one thing that we really work with the parents about. Parents, when daycare parents, kind of like, the daycare parents, they really like to think like, oh, we'll show up around 9:15. But we really work with the parents, too. We're getting them ready for kindergarten, because you can't come in late to kindergarten.
Right.
So you bring them at 8:30 because we say the pledge, all those things.
You have to be on time, and you're starting that, getting a good start to your morning.
Correct.
Is there a snack or anything during that time?
There is. For both the Part Day and the AM and the PM, they both have a snack.
Wow, that sounds like a really great program. And I'm assuming that because it's offered by Army Child Care, the fee structure is based on everything just like all of our CYSS programs are. You register for free, and then your fees are based on your income or your combined income.
That is correct. Your total family income, and it's a Part Day. You wouldn't pay full daycare rates. You would pay the Part Day 5-day Strong Beginnings rate.
So there are openings right now?
The AM class maybe has 1 or 2, but the PM class does have openings. And what I would recommend that if parents are interested in it is to put their children on the wait list. Because even if you're PCSing and you want to start them here, it is supposed to be a program that is the same across the board. So if you do it here, Fort Knox also does the same thing that we do. So it will transfer with them wherever they go. So
if somebody was interested in getting more information or even signing their child up for the class, where would they go?
I would recommend calling Parent Central Services first and make sure you're registered, do all that stuff first. And then I would actually just go over. I would say, hey, I'd just like to take a look around the preschool room, or you could walk into the full day, because you'll see the same thing in there for the Strong Beginnings portion. So visits are encouraged? Absolutely. Is an appointment a good idea? Let the instructors know that you're stopping by? It would be a good thing just to call and ask, is the class going on today? We'd like to just walk in just so that they know someone is going to come. Now, we do have an open door policy for parents, where you don't need to call. You can just come at any point in time and spend some time with your child. That's wonderful. Anything else you'd like to cover before we go? We do have a new CDC coming soon. Another one? Out at Gate 10. That we don't have an opening date for that yet, but that will be coming. So those patrons on the wait list, just hang on, because it will be opening very soon. We've got several that we got one that just got accredited, Eagle CDC, and we have two more in the mix there waiting on accreditation, so we are moving forward. It just seems like there's new child youth centers popping up all over Post, and I think that's wonderful for our families. Yes. Thanks for coming to visit with us again. Thank you, anytime. We'll see you again soon, Sunny. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
On Chicago's South Side, you either escape the neighborhood or get swallowed up by it.
Stop moving.
Dr. Grace Devlin
2, 1.
Did both.
Where have you been?
I had a patient with a pounding headache.
This September, caught between two worlds.
You came to me pleading for your brother's life.
I never agreed to kill somebody.
Yes, you did.
How do you do the right thing when you owe the wrong people?
Remember, you now belong to me.
Mob Doctor premieres September 17th on Fox.